But then as I grew, it was just like, I started going to college and stuff like that. I can just move away from this type of thing. And then with technology, I could just block it and not listen to mine. Be like, okay, they don't exist anymore. Cause, if I just, just unfollow, mute, or turn off the TV, they don't exist anymore. And and then I was like, okay, that's the way of dealing with my enemies. But, as I grew and as I started to read and start to pray and, come to Christ, I realized that, that's not the best way to address, necessarily, my enemies. And it was teaching me to stretch myself. God was stretching me because it was just like I saw the most healing and repairment and change when I started loving people I felt were persecuting me. It was just like I seen hearts start to transform. I talk all the time about, I felt like at points, my family was persecuting me and I had to, and I was like, man, I'm just gonna move away or I'm just not gonna talk to them. But as I kind of dove into that and loved as much as I could, and then God, He helped me with the rest. I saw Him work and change other hearts, and that was inspiration. That was motivation for me to be like, okay, let me continue to pray and learn about stretching myself. And then one more thing, like I constantly, have to stay in Christ because I realize how much I still need work in this aspect. Because Dean, when we were texting, you sent that picture of the gentleman who was hugging the woman at the police officer who had walked in the apartment and killed his brother. And after she had just got sentenced, he walked in the hug. I was like, even to this day, that picture you sent out, like, woo, that still made me hit one of those, like, woo. Ugh. It was like, I don't know about that one. It's just like, and I started thinking, I'm like, yeah, I feel you on that one, but is that the right time? Then I started asking my questions like, is there a more convenient time to love your enemy than right in that moment? And then I started asking my question. Then I was like, okay, God can still stretch me a lot on this one and my thought process on this one. But in the meantime, He's really shown me a lot of, when I'm sitting there, not wanting to be there and not wanting to love, but I do it to obey. And then I start to see the remnants of it, and I'm like, okay, I can see how loving God can use that to transform hearts.